Yo, no bias shit. Have you guys noticed that Elbaf has just been Sanji upscale? I'm not tripping. This is the most silent I ever heard the haters when I say this shit. I'm actually flabbergasted. That's a new word in my vocabulary. At how Oda just been thinking about Sanji this arc. Like he's involving him, removing him in situations where he would usually just get hype tooled, giving him upscale when he's not even on screen, destroying agendas that downplay him, hinting at power-ups. I challenge any of you guys that hate him to tell me I'm lying. You probably could because you know you're a hater, but just chill. But whoa. I'm gonna need you to scroll down for me and hit that subscribe button and like the video. Never forget, I really do love you guys that listen out the kindness of your hearts. Just for that, I gotta take the glaze up another level this video. Depending on the support, I might even take it up to another level for another video, but we'll see what you guys do. So what I'm gonna do to emphasize my point is that we're gonna analyze every moment of Elbaf from the beginning and how we can take a positive away for Sanji. So the first time Sanji pops up is when he saves Nami and Usopp from a cat. Why this just looks good is because Oda is trying to send a message early on in the arc. He wants to keep the monster trio dynamic alive. He wants Sanji to stand next to the other more glazed characters by the fandom. Some people see him using Ifrit Jambe here and think he's trash, but if you really have future sight, like me, you will know this is set up for greater things. If you couldn't tell, Sanji has been casually using Ifrit Jambe as of late. Some would say he's turning into his new Diable Jambe. Diable Jambe became washed, so he needed to get an upgrade. This only means the more casual Ifrit Jambe becomes, the more washed it will be, and the closer we get to a new upgrade. So this is a win-win. The next little feel we got here is Zoro saying this place is vast, and we don't know where the fuck we're going. Sanji says the rest don't seem to be here because his radar can't sense Robin. You guys can laugh and say this shit is a gag, but it really ain't. Sanji's observation when it comes to women is top tier, and we've seen that countless amount of times. But that's some light in my bag. I'm not even hitting you guys with the real shit yet. Sanji again uses Ifrit Jambe to destroy a net. Did he really have to do that? No. But this is only set up for the future. You guys know this. The more Ifrit Jambe gets used, the more washed it becomes, and the more people that tank it, that is when you should buy into Sanji stocks, because that shit is gonna need an upgrade. The next part is gonna be like insane wink, so like you guys are gonna say I'm doing tricks on it and shit, but I don't care. The next thing we got is this man right here. We know who he is, but fuck all that shit. Look what he said right here. I felt a surge of haki coming from the castle. No one else felt that shit because these guys concealed their presence, including this dumbass right here. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. He didn't feel shit. Gabban has the best observation haki on Elbaf. That's including Mr. Emperor Future Sight Luffy. Sanji being an observation haki specialist as well, I expect him to surpass Gabban's observation haki that's better than current Luffy's. Not including the voice of all things stuff, by the way, that's different. So yeah, Sanji gets some observation haki upscale. Gabban is possibly the greatest Sanji upscale I have ever seen. It is the greatest. Gabban calls himself the missionary of love. And then Oda has Luffy say, this is Sanji when he grows up. Holy Sanji parallel confirmed. Sanji parallel right here. None of that Nami shit, cut it out. Oda has set Sanji's floor to whatever the fuck Prime Gabban's level is. The greatest advancement in Sanji agenda history. Then we get some more upscale. This shit don't stop. The man Gabban was said to be the left hand of the Pirate King. You guys want to laugh at Sanji fans saying we're begging for making up that term, but when Oda saw that shit, he said I'm gonna make that shit real. You guys gotta start fighting Oda because he wants Sanji to win, and he's making you guys look stupid. So of course, by proxy, this means Sanji is the left hand of the Pirate King. Like, you guys can put two and two together. They also said this chapter that Gabban stood shoulder to shoulder with Roger and Rayleigh. Oda is grouping him up with Roger, standing shoulder to shoulder with him. This obviously isn't talking about his fame or his clout in the One Piece verse because Roger is the damn Pirate King. So obviously, they ain't standing shoulder to shoulder in terms of clout, but it means the man is able to stand on Roger's level in battle, shoulder to shoulder. Yo, as I'm editing this, like, why the fuck am I like talking like a yo, sorry guys for my voice going down. I don't know what that's about, but it should pick up. Did I also mention that they called him a legendary figure? Remember how I glazed Oda for grouping the monster trio in the beginning of the arc? Now he did that on steroids with this statement, as Sanji is going to be a bigger legendary figure in the world than Gabban, standing shoulder to shoulder with the greatest pirate of all time, Luffy. Potentially. This next moment is pretty roach, like, to be honest, it don't even gotta be in the video, but old Gabban violated a base Luffy pretty severely, at least in terms of speed, and then Luffy opted into Gear 5 after Gabban really scared him. So obviously Gabban is stronger than base Luffy, but I don't really know if this kind of proves it. But next moment is when Oda has Sanji conveniently leave the party that was going on in Elbaf to go investigate where Gerd went, even though this is her country and she should be able to disappear without a person thinking she's lost or she's in some fuckery or some shit. But this wasn't convenient at all. Oda made Sanji go to the underworld for a greater reason, so that Sanji doesn't get hype tooled. Since we know after after he left, the Holy Knights pulled up and massacred the island and the other Straw Hats. If Sanji was there, Oda would have just had him get cooked for the sake of the plot, like he usually does. So he saved him from his hype tool tendencies. He then instead put Sanji in a cool little panel right here with the monster trio aura farming in front of Loki, who just got released. He put real steppers in front of Loki to show like this is our best line of defense, and it's looking like they're standing shoulder to shoulder to me. Then Gabban was able to sense the Holy Knights hiding their presence. Once again, the only guy capable of that shit on the island, the best observation haki on the island. We then see Gabban blitz Summers like I never seen before. The man's arm got cut. He's looking at it and saying, yo, what the fuck's happening? Like that shit happened so fast. He's wondering like, how the fuck are my powers not working? Gabban then says something to him, then Summer screams his name and he still gets blitzed, yelling in agony. In the middle of this squabble, by the way, the useless 800-pound fish says he's equal to Rayleigh. Gabban's equal to Rayleigh. Another translation says he's the counterpart to Rayleigh. More or less kind of the same shit. Gabban is on that prime Rayleigh level, only making Sanji's upscale greater. And depending on how you see it, it could push some Zoro and Sanji being close agenda, but you know, we already made a video on that. Then Gabban ends up just blitzing this guy again and cutting him in half. Gabban basically beat a Holy Knight with barely any difficulty. I would argue Holy Knights are stronger than mostly all your commanders, with a few exceptions. An old version of this guy cooked one easily. The old version, bro, the old. Imagine his prime. Imagine Sanji's prime. He also uses future sight in his chapter, adding on to his observation haki gas. Yo, he might have the best observation in the series that we've seen right now. Fuck that Shanks shit. But that just tells you the level of observation Sanji will have in the future is going to be ridiculous. Also, Oda calls Ray and Gabban the wings of the Pirate King, furthermore emphasizing the importance of Sanji and the importance he plays alongside making Luffy the Pirate King. The most insane shit we got for the Sanji agenda is the fact that Gabban has Conqueror's haki. Yeah, what Gabban has doesn't automatically transfer to what Sanji will get, but it makes it way more likely, especially if he's going to surpass him, which he will. But that's not all. Gabban basically confirms that Conqueror's haki is needed to counter the Holy Knight's regeneration and the Gorosei. Just logically speaking, that alone should confirm he needs it eventually, because if his inferior parallel is able to fight Holy Knights, you best believe the upgrade as in Sanji will need to be able to do that too when it's all said and done, especially as Luffy's main powerhouse alongside Zoro. These guys are going to get main fights probably with a Gorosei end of the series too. Even in Elbaf, from what we can tell, it's very possible that they're going to fight Holy Knights. Speaking of that, there's more evidence when Gabban looks at Zoro and Sanji and says there seems like there is more than one Conqueror. Obviously the surface level way to view this is that he's already included Luffy in this conversation and he's talking about Zoro here. I already made an in-depth video about this, but why even include Sanji in this? For shits and giggles? Or is this another hidden meaning Oda likes to throw out? Gabban also should be aware of Zoro's Conqueror's haki since they fought before and Zoro was leaking that shit out. Hence why Gabban didn't deny Sanji when he asked if he has it. He just started bashing Zoro for the way he uses it. And when Sanji asked Gabban again, before we can see Gabban respond, Oda cuts away and we cut to an ominous shot of Sanji looking surprised. Oda did something here that he will later on reveal and I can't wait to see what it is, but we all know it's inevitable. While Oda just teased the Conqueror's haki hint, he's also reminding the audience to say some dumb shit like, oh, you can't be a simp and a conqueror. That these guys who say that shit are talking out their ass. All we've been getting lately is all these simps and gooners and the Ogen. All these simps like Roger especially showing you that the strongest of conquerors can simp for a woman and still have the best haki. If these guys are moving like this, what they gonna say now? The anti-Sanji conquerors don't make sense. Sanji is set up to be a legendary figure and a high top tier in the verse. Sanji's importance alongside Luffy and Zoro has increased. Sanji's insane observation haki developments are coming soon. Ifrit Jambe is getting washed and new upgrades are coming to his flames as well. Just a bit, man. You guys lost the war, man. Just done. Like you can't. What's the point of downplaying him?